Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Monday night stream. My name is Professor Roadblock, and we have got some special stuff going on for tonight's stream. So, let me flip over here to my live feed, and I will be talking about quite a few things here. Um, first things out of the way, we will be going over and reviewing my Game Awards predictions. So, a couple weeks back, we went through all 31 categories. I listed what I thought would be the predicted winner as chosen by the Game Awards, and then I also gave my personal picks. At the time, we just kind of did it for fun, but I've used that to double down and use it for something good. Hey, CJ, how's it going? Good evening. Yeah, go Tigers. You're absolutely going to be talking about that as well. So, what we're going to do first is I'm going to review my Game Awards picks. And what I'm doing is for the entire month of December, my streams are being used to raise money for charity, which I've mentioned a few times already at this point. I'm raising money for the organization Mental Health America. I'll post their link a couple times throughout the evening in the chat here. And what I decided to do was to add up all of my Game Awards predictions, and for every prediction that I got correct, I will be donating 50 cents to the organization. And for every one that I got wrong, I'd be donating $1. Now, I'm just going off of the predicted winners, not my own personal picks. And if you look at the progress bar at the top, I've actually already made that donation. I didn't want to be bothering with that on stream. And so you'll see that the grand total is sitting there at $23 that I contributed to our goal of $100. So I will go over how we reach that point here in a minute. But I would encourage you, if you have the means, to give $1, give $5, $10, whatever you can. That'd be great. I've heard people talking about matching my donations once they found out what mine would be. If you can do that, that's incredibly generous. But anything you can donate really does help. Mental health is such an important topic. It gets more attention than it used to, but it's still something that deserves our support and attention, especially at this time of year. Now, once we are done going over the Game Awards predictions, I have some other big news to talk about from my professional career. And so we're going to do something really fun with tonight's stream. After I've recapped my Game Awards predictions, then we are going to rewatch the Twitch videos from last night's Mario Kart Championship. And I'm going to do a play-by-play breakdown of each race. And I'm going to talk to you about what it was like to be a coach going through those games, and also give some insider information about how the Mario Kart season went this last fall. I thought that would be really fun and something unique that I can do on my channel, given my position that I'm in. So let's get the Game Awards predictions out of the way. It'll go quick. You guys can see my recap. I'll show that on screen in just a minute. And then I think that part of the stream will be a ton of fun. I encourage you to share the stream out so that other people can come and watch and hear all about how that went. But without further ado, let me see if I can get this up. And, once we're done with both of those things, if there's time remaining, then we will get back to playing a little bit of the Messenger. But you guys should now be able to see my brightly colored spreadsheet here. And this lists my predictions from a couple weeks ago. So we have all 31 of our categories on the left. And then the middle column is the main one we're focusing on here. This is where I predicted which games would win. And then these are my personal picks. So we'll quickly go through each category. This will not take very long, but I wanted to see. So for best esports event, I picked the right winner and was correct. It was the League of Legends World Championship that won. The other esports awards, coach, team, and athlete, wrong across the board. Now that's a hard category because there's so many athletes, so many teams, so many coaches you could choose from. It's really hard to determine who's going to win those, but I wasn't even close on any of those. That being said, I did get esports game, which was Valorant. So, 2 out of the 5 esports awards, and I think I got the ones that really had some level of predictability there. So that was good. Next category was most anticipated game. I thought they were going to give it to Starfield, but no, once again, they gave it to Zelda. Zelda has had the most anticipated category just about every time that it's appeared. So Tears of the Kingdom, which I marked as my most anticipated game, was the one that won it, so it was not Starfield. For best adaptation, this was a category about a movie or TV show based on a video game, and so there were things like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and others in there. My personal pick was that I thought they would give it to Arcane League of Legends, or sorry, I wanted it to be Arcane League of Legends. I thought they were going to give it to Cyberpunk, but I should have gone with my own pick and my gut because Arcane got it, and it was well deserved. Moving on, best debut indie. I picked Vampire Survivors, which is a delightful, very small project. I thought they would give it to them as well. You know, being a debut title from a small indie team, I thought it was perfect. They gave it to Stray, which is arguably not an indie title. I mean, it is, but it isn't. So anyway, and that's not to diminish Stray. Stray was a great game. Moving on, content creator. Look, I may be getting older, but I'm not completely out of touch. I picked Ludwig. Game Awards picked Ludwig. Ludwig is content creator of the year. Best multiplayer. My personal pick was Splatoon 3, but I thought there's no way they're going to give it to Modern Warfare. No, they picked Splatoon 3. So Splatoon 3 got best multiplayer. For best sports or racing, I chose Ollie Ollie World. I thought they would choose NBA 2K23. Wrong and wrong. They gave it to Gran Turismo 7. Heyo, let's see. CJ has donated $23 to Tiltify and matched my donation. Thank you so much. That brings our grand total up to no, I can't do math, to $56, right? No, $46. Wow. $46 out of 100. So we are almost halfway to our goal. Thank you so much, CJ. I know you said you were going to do that. I appreciate the follow through. That is awesome. When we're done here, I'll talk about what the reward is or what the goal is if we hit that $100. Best sim and strategy, I picked Mario and Rabbids. So did they. Best family game, Kirby. So did they. I would have been really surprised if they hadn't chosen Kirby. Best fighting game, I chose Sifu. And looking back on that, I don't know what I'm thinking because Sifu is not really a fighting game. It's a fun, interesting game that has like martial arts type combat, but it's not a traditional fighting game. But, you know, I went with it. They chose Multiversus, which is what I thought they were going to pick. Best role-playing game, I picked Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I really thought they might toss a win to it. They didn't. They picked Elden Ring for this category, and I ranted during my predictions about how I didn't think Elden Ring is a true example of an RPG, but nonetheless. Best action adventure, I thought this might be the one category where they gave it to Horizon Forbidden West. That's not to say Horizon was a bad game. It was a fantastic game. It was just against a lot of stiff competition this year, much like Horizon Zero Dawn was the year that it came out. I thought maybe they'll give it to this category. Nope. You know, that was my pick anyway. I did say that Game Awards was going to give it to God of War, and I was right. They did. Next one, best action game. Bayonetta. Okay. VR game. I chose Red Matter 2. I have not played any VR, but this is based on reviews and community buzz that I had heard. I'd heard Red Matter 2 was a fantastic game. I thought maybe they'd throw a bone to Among Us VR. They did not. The game that got chosen was Moss Book 2, which is one that I had considered. Innovation and accessibility, I chose As Dusk Falls and thought they would too. They did not. They went with God of War Ragnarok. For best community support, I chose and thought that they would go with No Man's Sky because it's just had an incredible journey coming from a broken promise of a game to really fulfilling and exceeding expectations. But they gave it to my wonderfully lovely game that I love so much, Final Fantasy XIV, for best community support. So that's well deserved by the Final Fantasy XIV team. Best mobile game, Marvel Snap. That was pretty easy. That game just came out. It's been an absolute blast. There may be some recency bias going on there, but Marvel Snap's just a damn good game, and I've still been playing a ton of it. Best indie, I chose Neon White. They chose Stray. No surprise. Best ongoing, Final Fantasy XIV, got it across the board. Games for Impact, I chose Endling, which was a game about climate change. I thought they might choose Memoir Blue, which is a story about growing up in a single-parent household and living under the immense challenges of growing up and performing. That game did not win either. It went to As Dusk Falls again. For best audio design, I thought they might give it to Gran Turismo 7 just because of how difficult it is to design a racing sim where the cars and the tracks and the movement all sounds good. They did not. They gave this one to God of War as well. And maybe I didn't vote for God of War because I haven't played it yet. Best score in music, I talked about how fantastic the Xenoblade soundtrack was. Thought maybe it would win there. Or at least I wanted it to win, but then I thought they're going to give it to God of War, which they did. For best art direction, I chose as my pick Elden Ring. I thought they were going to give it to God of War. They gave it to Elden Ring. Best narrative, on the inverse, I picked Elden Ring, um, which did not get it this time. I said that Game Awards was going to pick God of War, which they did. And then the last two categories, game direction, I picked Elden Ring, so did they. Game of the year, I picked Elden Ring, so did they. So I batted it just over 50%. I had, for the Game Awards predictions, I had 16 correct predictions and 15 incorrect predictions. And then for my own personal picks, I had 14 correct predictions and 17 incorrect ones. So, just over 500, or about an even record. That's not bad, all things considered. And some of the major awards, I got Game of the Year, I got Best Game Direction, I got some of the genre categories, which I think are kind of stupid, but I got those. And then, of course, some of the esports awards, like Best Esports Event and Game, I nailed those, and so I felt pretty good about those. So there it is. Those are my predictions and results for the Game Awards. And again, I am donating, or did donate, 50 cents per correct guess for predicted winner and $1 for each one that I goofed up, which gave us a grand total of $23 towards MHA. Now, before I move on to the topic of the evening, what I think is going to be a ton of fun here, what is all this going for? Obviously, we're just raising money for a good cause, but if we hit that donation goal by I think it's about this time next week, so we got about 7 days, I think, maybe 9 days left on the calendar. I can't remember which day I chose. If we get $100 raised by then, and we only have to get, $54 now, then I will be hosting a special stream right before Christmas where we play a bunch of really crappy Flash games or browser-based games or whatever-based games that are all about the holidays, so Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever kind of holiday games we can find and suffer through together on a stream. So I will be doing that here as we move forward, as it looks like that goal is approaching. I'll start compiling some of those bad games, and we will go through them if we hit that goal. But that is up to you guys. That is not up to me. So I know I've put my money forward. CJ's put his money forward. We're not terribly far away from that goal. Even if you know somebody who doesn't watch my streams but might be willing to consider donating or giving money to a good cause this time of year, maybe it's worth not even sharing my Twitch link, but just sharing the link to my donation drive and trying to get them to chip in a little bit. So here's the other thing for the evening. And again, this is what I think is going to be really awesome. This idea came to me this evening. Last night was a huge night for Marshalltown Community College esports. I've been talking about this, giving updates throughout the season, but I honestly, I don't even know if it's fully set in what happened yesterday. So we've had some really great teams this season, and I truly mean that. We're a brand new program. We started this August. We have an Overwatch team that's practicing. We have a Siege team that's practicing. And then we have students that have been playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and competing. And then we've had 2 students that have been playing Mario Kart and competing. And we had a young lady who has been playing Mario Kart for us. And she went the entire regular season undefeated, didn't even drop a single race in 7 weeks of competition, which is already amazing enough. She earned the 1 seed going into the tournament. And I'm happy to report that Marshalltown Community College has its first national champion. Amber ended up winning it all. In the semifinals match, she defeated the reigning champion. His name is Matthew from Lorain County Community College. And then she went on to topple the kind of the wild card pick, the 22 seed, who made it all the way to the finals and cleaned out that match for a victory. And it was honestly, it was insane. It was so surreal to watch. I've been kind of living in a haze. I can't imagine how Amber feels, because she is the one that did this. And so I am going to recap some of those matches. If you guys have questions, go ahead. I'm going to pause things from time to time. And I thought it might be nice to go over a play-by-play of the season, and then talk about kind of where I was at it as the coach, and then give you guys some inside information for kind of the hard work that Amber's put in and what the seasons looked like up to this point and some of the things that she was practicing and that sort of stuff, right? And I don't want to reveal all my trade secrets, but I do know competitive Mario Kart to a pretty high degree. I helped write the rules that they use at the high school league here in Iowa, along with some other wonderful colleagues of mine. And I've now had the privilege of coaching it in a different format at the college level. And yeah, we'll go from there. I have a lot of thoughts on this. Really looking forward to it. So I'm going to flip over to this. I'm going to hit the play button. If the audio is a little off, that's fine. Honestly, I want the audio way down. And that's not to diminish my wonderful broadcasters. We had Austin and Freddie doing the broadcast. Freddie also plays Mario Kart, and Austin is our regular caster. And they both did a phenomenal job. But this is going to be more about my commentary about the races, right? I'm doing like commentary about the commentary. So I've jumped ahead to about the 6-minute mark where the races will first begin, and we'll go from there, right? Now, before I hit the play button again, I want to give you guys the proper context for this, okay? This is the semifinals match that we're watching first. The semifinals match came down to Amber going against the current national champion, Matthew from Lorain County Community College. We knew going into this match that this was the mountain. This was the one that Amber had to beat, and it was going to be the toughest match all season. We even felt fairly confidently that this was going to end up being harder than the finals. Obviously, you never look past an opponent. We'll talk about that more when we get through this or with this match. But this was the one that we were worried about. And guys, this one came down to the wire. Okay, so Mario Kart in our league is raced 1v1 in a best of 7 format. This means the first student athlete to win 4 races wins the match. Amber won the set 4-3. It came down to the final race, and boy, was it close. So we'll go ahead and get things started. If you guys have questions, let me know. I will pause it frequently and talk about what was going on and kind of what was going on in my mind as the coach. Now, as we get started here, the first thing I'm going to talk about is some of the pep talk, some of the behind the scenes that Coach Andrew and I had with Amber as we were getting started. So one of the things that I want to start off by saying is that, and I've said this in emails and social media posts, but Amber is responsible for 100% of the work that you're about to see. She has worked so incredibly hard to get to this moment. That being said, Andrew and I's contributions at the start of the season, I talked to Amber about some Mario Kart tech and strategies and kind of got a baseline for where she was at. She was way up here all the way off the bat. So I just kind of helped steer her towards some advanced level things she could do. She then took it upon herself to do that work. And then what we worked on, and Andrew had a large part in this, was the mindset. The mindset of how to compete at this high of a level. How do you play under this kind of pressure? And that was our contribution to Amber, talking about how every race is new, right? So I told her before she started, if you have a bad race, shake it out, let it go. You can win the next one. So Amber was the home team here. She got to choose this track. Animal Crossing is her favorite. Incredibly strong start here, right? So she's just behind him. They're going to keep swapping here. She does get hit from an early item, kind of gets shook off right off the bat. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to pause for just a second. Are there any shortcuts that are off limits? No. Mario Kart 8 is really well balanced, and there aren't the broken shortcuts that there were in like Mario Kart Wii or some other titles, Mario Kart 64. There are no wild, crazy out there shortcuts that are off the table. The only thing that was off limits for this competition was Mario Kart just released 8 new tracks as part of Wave 3 of the Booster Pass, and the manual states that a track must be out for a minimum of 2 weeks before it can be played in competition. So the brand new tracks that dropped on December 7th were not allowed. Everything else was on the table here. So going into the first match, right, this is our barometer. This is how we were going to gauge how the rest of the night was going to go. And our other racer, Freddie, got to race this guy in playoffs earlier on. So we did get a sneak preview as to how this guy plays. We knew that he used Toad. We knew that he used the clown car. And we'd scouted some earlier footage of him. But this was kind of a nerve-wracking start. And Amber didn't have the strongest start here, right? She got hit with an item right away, dropped a second right away, and she is trailing pretty significantly here. She also misses the item box there, which is not good. So what she's doing right, she's taking these really aggressive, really short pass through the track, right? She's hugging the wall pretty close, but watch this, boom. That moment, I kind of internally went, oh, we are in trouble here, because that looked very calculated. Looking back on it now, I think it was calculated, but I think he also got a little bit lucky. But my thought was, oh man, if he can do that with surgical precision like we just saw, we're in trouble. But Amber is going to recover the right way here. She's going to take the 2 double item box. She's going to get the mushroom shortcut right here. Very reliable. Boom. And then she's going to keep this. I think she keeps this mushroom for a little bit. Nope. She blows it to get another item box. This gives her a red shell. Now she's going to throw it. Now, this guy's a champ, right? He's got an item to block it. He was ready. In Mario Kart, we call that having a shield. You always want to have a shield, a shell, a banana, something that will protect you from the red shell, green shell, whatever it is coming at you. Now, Amber gets the Bob-omb here. She had a clutch play with a Bob-omb last week. And I think she's going to try to recreate that here, but it is not quite going to work. It almost blows her up. She gets a mushroom right there, but a little bit too late to maximize the shortcut. And she's really trying to hang in there, right? He's probably half a second ahead, but that's more than it seems in here. So she's taking a really quick shortcut. There she goes. She's right behind him, but then she hits the grass, right? That kills her momentum. So she's not playing terribly by any means, but she's making some mistakes that Amber doesn't normally make. I think the pressure of the moment was getting to her a little bit. Takes another really aggressive tight angle here. Gets the double item box. Has the mushrooms. Uses them right here. But it's not quite enough. But the end of that race, by the time we get to end of race 1, rather than being like, oh man, I don't know how this is going to go. Like that guy lasered her with a shell. She's playing kind of rocky. I went, no. She was on his ass right when that race ended. We've got this. So now we're going to go into game 2 here. Now, because Amber lost race 1, she gets to choose the track for race 2. And I believe she chooses Royal Raceway. Yep. One of the other things that I was wrong about with this was her opponent here uses Toad in the clown car. And I don't remember what wheels, right? But that's a very anti-meta build, right? It's in Mario Kart, there are certain characters and carts that are objectively better or better in certain circumstances. And the combination Matthew has here is not meta at all, right? And so I thought that he would change his cart setup and character at some point during the match if he started to slip. Obviously, he just won game 1. He's got no reason to switch, but he stays as Toad in the clown car the entire time. So I would have put money that he was going to do that, but he didn't. So Amber gets an early lead here. She tries to get him with a banana, but doesn't. But she does steal the double item box from him. She now has a banana as a shield to protect herself, which is exactly what she wants. And you also get a max speed boost once you hit 10 coins, and she does it right there. Being able to get that max speed boost before the end of lap 1 is huge. Now, every time she gets hit, she will lose 3 coins. But if she doesn't get hit, or if she's able to recover quickly, she's going to have an edge over her opponent. Now, the difference between Luigi and Toad is that Luigi is slightly heavier, so he has a higher top speed, but Toad has slightly better acceleration, so he can recover faster if he gets hit. In a perfect world, Luigi's going to be slightly better if he's not getting hit, but that's not the way these races work. But still, if you look at the minimap here, Amber's got a pretty comfortable lead. Now, if she gets screwed up, if she takes a really big hit, she's going to be in trouble, but she's got the banana. Now, her second item's a coin. That's not ideal, but she can't get rid of the coin right now, because to get rid of the coin, she has to drop the banana first, which she cannot afford to do. So she's just going to have to sit with this item setup until her opponent gets a red shell and can knock the banana out from under her. Now, there's also a shortcut you can do right here where you go off the track. You either need a mushroom for that, or you can do what's called a no item shortcut, but it's high risk, high reward, and Amber did not. Now, this was great. That was an incredible decision making. I'm going to pause this, okay? I'm going to back it up. Okay. So what I said was, she needs this banana if the opponent's going to throw a shell at her. Well, here it comes. The red shell finally comes. Okay. Right here. Now, the thing that was bad about that timing was that Amber hit the item box before she dropped the banana, so she didn't get an item. Now, he had, I don't know if he had double red. I think he had 2 red shells, right? So she has no way to protect herself against this that's coming. She knows it's going to hit her. So watch what she does. She slows down. She gets hit. Boost right here, right? She uses the momentum from that speed boost to recover the lost speed from getting hit. That was a clutch play. And you're going to see that here. She hits him with the boomerang and then secures the lead with the mushroom. She then throws the boomerang backwards just to try and hit him again. And then she honks right at the end. So that is incredible. And this was the moment for Amber and I think all of us where we're like, she's in this to win this. She can do this. That decision making was clutch. And she's hanging in with him in those races. So we're going to get queued up for race 3. Wow. Now he gets to choose race 3. And I think this is where we see Neo Bowser City. Yep. So the fundamentals here that we have for Mario Kart, and I'm not going to go into all the details, right? There's 2 basic skills that if you want to get good at competitive Mario Kart, you have to do. The first one is carving the most optimal route through the track. That's true of any racing game, right? You basically visualize the track and go, what's the straightest line I can drive? Obviously, I can't just drive a straight line because I'm going to go off track, whatever. But you want to go the most narrow path possible, right? So you want to cut the corners as tightly as possible. You want to carve the fastest way through the track. And you're going to watch Amber and Matthew consistently do this, right? Like that shortcut or that turn that Matthew just made. They're hugging these walls very tight. He's doing an excellent job of that right here. That's strategy 1. That's the first thing you have to nail. The thing that makes Mario Kart unique, The thing that makes Mario Kart unique is that you also have item management. Now, the items in Mario Kart to the casual audience seem random. They're not. They're semi-random, but it's all determined on the items you currently have, your placement in the race, and your distance from the next closest racer. So that's why, for instance, in close races like this, you are never, ever going to see a blue shell because blue shells are awarded based on how far away you are from the next racer or from the first place racer. If they're tight, you're never going to see a blue shell. But you are going to see lots of shells, lots of mushrooms, lots of bananas, some bob-ombs like this. And that's going to be the bread and butter of what you see at this high level of play. So it's all about managing what you have, right? Amber's keeping this because she's trying to visualize an opportunity there. She almost had one, but then she got nailed with the green shell again. But she recovers well. Once she's behind, she's like, the banana's worthless to me. She also hates the fire flowers, and so she dropped all those. And look, now she has 3 red shells. Now, what you don't want to do is go tap, 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 and fire them all at once. But what she's doing, and she just hit him, is you hit one, their shield will eat it. You throw a second one, their shield might eat it again, but then you're guaranteed, if you time it right, to hit him with the third one, and he just hit a banana here. So she takes the lead. She's got the music box. Now she's watching. She flicked back because she wants to hit him with the music box as he comes around at her. She's holding it. She's holding it. She ends up using it to not hit the banana there, which is clutch, right? Better play is for her to hit him, but she was like, I'm going right for this banana. I'm going to use the music box to get out of the way. Now, she did screw up there. I'm going to go back and show this. She made a mistake, okay? So she has the banana. She gets here and drops it. Why she did that, I have no idea. I think the idea was this is the final stretch. This ramp's pretty much it. I'm going to drop it and hope that he hits the banana as an extra insurance policy. What happened was as she was throwing the banana, he was throwing the red shell, which means she just lost her protection. So watch this. She gets hit here, but the momentum carries her across the finish line. So had that red shell come any earlier, there's a real possibility he catches up and wins, but she got it here. Now, we go into race 4. Okay, like I was saying, though, the second core fundamental is item management. Now, one of the things is that the game will almost never give you two of that same item at the same time. So, and when you're in first place, a coin is kind of worthless. You can't use it to provide protection. You can use it to get 10, like if it gets you your 10th coin and get a speed boost. But there's so many coins on the track that that's a much better way of getting them. You don't want a coin in first. But if I just use it the second I get it, I'm probably going to get another one. A coin is the item you're most likely to get in first place because you're already in the lead. So what high level players will do is they'll keep the coin until they hit the next item box. And the second they hit the item box on your screen, it looks like it's random or it's scrolling through the options. But the second you've picked the item box, the game already knows what item it's going to give you. So then you can safely pop the coin and you're guaranteed to get something else like a banana or a mushroom or a shell. So watch for that as you're playing. She gets a red shell right off the bat, throws it immediately because there's a pretty good chance he won't be able to protect himself yet. Like he'd have to have quickly gotten a banana and held it behind him. And so that was really good here. She pops the coin right away this time because she wants that protection of the banana. Right? The coin's not going to stop her from her shell. The banana will. So when she rolls the next item box, there's a pretty good chance she gets a coin like that. But she has the item that she needed. So she's drifting through the track here, maintaining that lead. He tries to throw some fireballs, which she sees coming and kind of stays to the right so that she doesn't get hit. Looking behind you is a crucial play. Matthew also does that all the time, frequently looks behind to see what's going on with his opponent. And what we've coached really hard is that when you're ahead, you play conservatively, you play it safe. It's your match to lose. And so Amber's not taking any wacky shortcuts. She's not doing any unsafe boosts. She's not taking any risks. Now, she does get hit by bananas there, which is unfortunate. She just barely dodges a boomerang. She's able to recover most of her momentum from these, but she's now behind. He has a banana, which is scary. He could drop that at any point to try and get her, so she's not going to race directly behind him. And let's talk about that. Okay, I'm going to replay that. This was the moment where I think Amber got the most shooken up. So what happened was she decided to try to throw the banana ahead of her opponent to get him, but it's going to bounce right off the signpost right here. Boom. And she ends up hitting it herself. So that was a lot of momentum lost because she ended up hitting herself with an item. Ideally, that banana goes directly in front of her, and maybe it catches Matthew, maybe it doesn't, but it's at least going to get close. And it's going to give her an opportunity to get a different item at the item box, maybe a shell or something that will help her. So this point, I believe she loses this race. And it's this point right here where I think she lost. And that's not to say that it's her fault. Like, yes, she made a mistake in the timing of the banana, but she made the right call. That the chances of hitting the sign are incredibly minimal, right? There's only one spot in the track where it can happen. And due to the pressure of the moment, she just wasn't thinking about it. But I, as a coach, when that happened, my heart sank. Because I'm like, oh no, this is going to be tough. So she has a coin. She's not going to get another one. What does she get next? Music box. Okay. Music box is great when you're ahead, but not here. So she's like, I'm getting rid of this damn thing. I need something else. There's a double item box up ahead. So she's going to take the two items and see if she can get two shells, a banana. She gets another fire flower, which she hates, right? This time, though, she is going to try to hit him with it. Doesn't work. She's got a green shell, which she can use, but it's not going to have any homing, and on these curves, it's unreliable. So rather than throwing it and risking it bouncing and hitting her, she drops it. That gives her bananas, which she can't really use, and a mushroom, which she's going to use to take the shortcut. So she loses here, but she's about half a second behind him. Still really solid. And again, I am confident, had that banana not bounced off the signpost and hit her, she would have won this one. So that was an unlucky break there. It was due to her releasing the banana at a bad time, but I can't fault her for that. She's playing in an incredibly high stress situation, and that's really the only major slip up that she has. She gets to choose again. She chooses Dragon Driftway. This is one of her favorite tracks. This is an incredible one. Great shortcuts. Our broadcaster's doing an excellent job of hyping up the match and the rivalry that's going on here. So let's see how this one goes. Again, if you're keeping track, at this point in the race, it's tied 2-2. Matthew won race 1 and 4. Amber won race 2 and 3. So taking those tight angles. Another thing that you'll see in Mario Kart at high level play, like what you're doing is as you hop, you can then hold down the hop to drift and boost. You see her doing that right here. Now you can get a blue level boost, which is level 1, an orange level boost, which is level 2, and a purple level boost, which is level 3. You are trying to get as many boosts off as you safely can do. That doesn't always mean you're going for purples. A lot of times you're getting the little orange ones, but you're doing those boosts as often as possible to get ahead. What she used there was she used the mushroom to take the off-road shortcut. She looked behind to see that he was there, saw he had the banana, so she definitely dodged out of it coming in. That was smart. She steals the double item box from him there, so instead of having 2 items, I believe he doesn't have any right now unless he caught one of the 1 boxes. He must have because he's got 3 bananas. He tries to drop those, but she sees him, stays out of the way. And now she's going to hold on to this mushroom for that shortcut again. One of the things that we saw opponents slip up on a lot was they would use the mushrooms right away rather than saving them here where she can make up time. Watch this. Gets in front of him, green shell behind her. She's holding on to it for protection. She almost gets hit with the green shell, but does not. And she decides to drop hers behind to try to snipe him. Oh, and then I don't know how that worked out, but she ended up stealing the item box from him again, even though it looked to me like he was going to snag it. He must have been slightly too far off to the left. I'm just jumping on. What match is this? Hey, Christian, this is the semifinals match. This was the first match that was played last night. And this is race 5. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay, I saw this one too, and this was the moment in race 3 where I knew Amber had lost this one. So I'll talk about the way bob-ombs work here as soon as it comes out. So again, if we pause it here, she's set up to do the same thing she did in lap 1 and 2. She's got this mushroom. She's going to save it for an off-road shortcut, either this one or the one at the end. And then she has the green shell for protection. I think in this moment, her play was to use this mushroom right here and then have the shell as protection. Oh, no, I was wrong. Okay, here comes the bomb. I think it's right here. Okay. Now, she saw the bomb come out. The way that the bob-ombs work in Mario Kart is that they are proximity-based. They're time-based, but they're also proximity-based. So if a bomb gets thrown and I get too close to it as an opposing racer, it's going to blow up on me right when I pass it. And if I'm in that blast radius, I'm getting hit. My own bomb will not do that to me. So if I throw it ahead and then I drive past it, it's not going to blow up when I get close to it. Now, it may blow up after the fuse goes off and I could get caught anyway, but it's not going to blow up based on proximity. Now, Amber saw this, and I think she panicked because she was expecting the bomb to be further to the right than it was, and it ends up going pretty much against the left side of the track, right? So you can see it bounce, and then it goes over here. And because she's drifting right now, she has no ability to get out. Like at this point, she knows this thing's gonna hit me. And then, boom. Okay? So I don't think she recovers from this. I think Matthew takes this one. But she drops the coin, gets the double item box. That way she can try to get 2 mushrooms, which is perfect. She uses 1 to get a boost, 1 to take the shortcut. She closes the gap again, but that bob-omb was too much, right? These races are so razor thin in margin that one thing like that can screw up a race, right? And so that was a really good play from Matthew. Amber recovered from it really well, but it wasn't enough. So now the set is Matthew 3, Amber 2. She loses 1 more, she's out. And I think it was at this point where Coach Andrew noted that Amber kind of sat and put her head down for a second. And he said, in his mind, he was like, oh, no. And so that's when he noticed it. He cheered her on. We got the energy back up and said, you got this, girl. You can do this. Because she can, right? She's 3-2 with him right now. She's cleanly beat him in 2 races, and her losses were close. Like, and I got to give it to Amber. She is a fighter. She can recover from almost anything. And damn, did she want this so bad. And I'll talk more about that later, right? But here we go into the next race. And so Amber gets to choose again. She chooses Yoshi's Circuit. Yoshi's Circuit is a map with a lot of shortcuts, a lot of tight turns, a lot of drifting. This is the exact kind of track that Amber excels at.
We'll see, because when you played him, let's say Amber wins this, which she will. Do you think that they'll whip out the baby course like they did against you?
Baby course? I have no idea.
the commentators are talking about if Amber wins this one, will Matthew choose Baby Park? Baby Park is known as the great equalizer in Mario Kart, right? Because it's 7 laps in an oval. But there's not a lot of strategy. There's not a lot that you can do there. And so sometimes if a team or a person's behind, they'll choose Baby Park as like a Hail Mary. She got once again an early red shell. That's going to give her an early lead. She's not going for the coin. She's going for the tighter path. Now, I want to call attention to this. I think you're about to see it right here. Okay. So she's going to go off road and take a shortcut. Now, she is going to slow down just a little bit, but even with that right there, she's hopping to reduce that slowdown. That's still technically faster. And I believe there's a way you can do in Mario Kart what's called a no item shortcut, which is where if you boost and hop through the grass at just the right way, at just the right time, there are certain shortcuts that you can take where you don't lose your momentum. And I think that's technically one of them, but it's really hard to pull off. But it's one of them that even if you don't get it perfectly, it's still 9 times out of 10 faster than actually taking the intended route, even with the slowdown in your speed. So she takes the ramp to get a little bit of a speed boost for momentum. She drops the green shell. She barely dodges one coming in from Matthew. She has 9 coins. She's not going to pick up the 10th yet. She's not going to pop this one. She's going to get the item box first. Boom, coin out. She's hoping for a mushroom here, which doesn't happen. But now she's got that shield or that shell for protection, right? That's her shield. But here's one of the things that's wild, okay? We have not seen a boo yet. Boo is an item that you don't get unless you're trailing fairly far behind. So you almost never see boos in races this close. And when that came out, I immediately looked over to the mini map because normally on the mini map you can see where the opponent's at. Although with the boo, you actually disappear from the mini map. But look at where Matthew reappears once this comes back. I think he actually closes the gap a little bit here. But when he look at that. When he reappears, he is significantly behind. We have not seen this yet, and I'm not disparaging Matthew's play at all. This was an incredibly close race. I don't know if there was a mistake. I don't know if he got hit by his own green shell, but something happened and he trailed behind. And so he was able to use the boo to steal her protection, which was great on his part. This time, Amber does not take that little shortcut. She's ahead. She can play conservatively. She doesn't need to do it. She's hoping this isn't a coin. It is. That's okay, right? She has the banana. Here comes the red shell. Protection gone. She's going to hit the item box. The second she hits it, she's going to pop the coin. Boom. She's hoping for the mushroom. Doesn't get it. Green shell again. That's fine, right? We take those. So now she's got the 10 coins. She's got the protection. It's all about just racing a tight race. So tight corners here. Building boost here. She doesn't even need the item boxes, but she grabs one anyway. And look, now she's got double protection. Green shell on top of green shell. And this is one of those exceptions where every once in a while, he fell off. Okay. Every once in a while, you can get the game to roll a second item. Like the coins, it almost never does. Shells every once in a while. So you will see that she has 2 greens here. Which is really, like the chances of that are really low. And it was really good for her to have that. Because now the opponent's going to have 3 red shells to take her out. And they may be at the point where they can do this. They need to get a blue shell. And I don't know what's going on, right? Because you saw that he was far enough behind to get a star, but then it looks like he drove off the track again. I don't know if that was lag or what happened. But she wins that one really cleanly, and I think at this point, it's now tied up 3-3. It's going into the final race, and I think Matthew was a little bit demoralized from the way that this specific race went. And so now we're going to go into race 7. It's tied up 3-3. It's truly anybody's race. And, Coach Andrew and I were talking to the other coaches, or he was talking to the other coaches afterwards. And of course, we congratulated them on their season. Matthew was the champion. He raced an incredible season. These races were nuts. They really pushed Amber to the limit. And we said, these racers are close. If you have them race 100 times, it's anybody's guess on who's going to come out on top here. And so he absolutely had the means to win this, and he almost did. So here we go to the last one. Some other things I'll shout out, again, for people that don't understand competitive Mario Kart. I listed the 2 fundamentals, which is the optimal path track and item management, which I could do a whole series on the item management thing. But then I'm just going to list off some of the other things that players have to think about, right? And I'm not going to describe them, but cart and character optimization. So what character and cart builder are you going to use? getting perfect starts. So when the timer goes 3, 2, 1, there's a very specific time you can hold the go button to get a boost, which is when the 2 finishes dropping right 3, 2. So the the speed boost here, there's actually 2 speed boosts if you didn't know this. Okay, if you start accelerating as the 2 drops, like right here when it finishes dropping, then you're going to get the normal speed boost. But if you do it at the exact frame that it hits the bottom and stops moving, you get what's called a frame perfect speed boost, which is even faster. And the timing on that is nuts. This game runs at 60 frames per second when you're playing in split full screen rather than split screen. And to get that window is a frame perfect trick, which means you have 1/60th of a second to get the perfect speed boost. And the timing of that is even more complicated because you're playing online where there's sometimes a very slight delay in your inputs. So there's the perfect speed boost, right? That's one of the other ones. Drifting, which I've talked about, but there's another technique called soft drifting, which is a way of playing with the joystick in a specific way that maximizes your boost while also maintaining the most forward momentum on the track. So you're still taking the tightest, cleanest route while that was a good dodge from him, by the way, while trying to get the boost going. Hop skipping. So there will be times where you see Amber hop over a jump instead of taking it because it's actually faster to get out of the air. So in Mario Kart, ooh, there we go. And I'll pause for a second. There's a lot going on here. That moment was the moment that I knew she was going to win this. Is that much bigger of a start boost? It is. And it's hard to notice when you're watching a race take place. But if any of you guys play Mario Kart time trials and you're racing against your own ghost, if you have a ghost time where you got the perfect boost with your ghost, and then you try to beat that ghost and you don't get it, it's not that you can't beat yourself, but it's a noticeable difference. I would say the difference between the perfect boost and the non-perfect boost is probably a quarter of a second, which doesn't sound like much, but that's pretty wide. And then it also when you come out of that boost, you're at a slightly higher top speed than with the other boost, and so you're already closer to your character's max speed than you are with the other boost. So it ends up saving a lot of time. So there's kind of where that one's at. Hey, C-Zone, good to see you, bud. We are recapping some of the championship matches that my student played in last night. So I'm kind of doing like a mini coaching lesson and recap here. So let's keep going. So she gets the coin in this map, the rupees, because it's Zelda themed, which I love. This time she drops the coin right away because she needs that shell for protection. So she's probably going to get a rupee here or a coin. There it is. That's fine. She just has to hold on to it. She can't really do anything. She needs the shell. She's not going to launch it backwards and try to hit him. That's far too risky because he's right on her butt. She's going to take a quick corner here. Try to hug it as tightly as possible. She's got her 10 coin speed boost. Again, tight path here. Another tight one here. And she's just racing the track the way she knows how, right? She's put so much time into these races. Okay, again, Matthew's still right behind her. You look at that mini map, that toad is right there. All it's going to take is for her to get hit by an item, and he's got this. So that green shell almost ricochets and hits her. The green shells are lethal. He is right there. Right there. Okay, she's just going to keep holding, right? I just have to keep doing this. Okay, there you go. My shield's gone. That's fine. That's fine. He only had one red. Okay, fireball barely misses. So here we go on the final stretch. She picks this up, and look what she gets. Shell. At that point, it's over. It is over. And you can hear the chat. You can hear people cheering in the arena. It was going nuts. So you guys can hear that in the background, right? So you hear Andrew go off, you hear me go off, you hear everybody clapping, you hear all the oh my gods. I think that was her mom. I think it was Amber's mom. It was either mom or grandma. I can't remember who it was, but Amber's whole family was there. Amber gets up, she hugs Andrew, she hugs me, she goes and hugs mom and dad. Like, people are going nuts. Like, this was the moment. This was the mountain. So before we move on to the next race, which we will watch, I just want to talk about like how we built up to this moment, right? And like I said, this could have gone either way. That came down to the last race of the set, and he was right there. One mistake, or if he had gotten just lucky, a little bit luckier with an item, and that could have gone a completely different direction, right? But the reason that Amber pulls this off is because of her drive to do this and because of her mentality going into this. So, to give a little peek behind the curtains, right? Again, when I talked to Amber at the beginning of the season, she knew all of the basic Mario Kart techniques, right? And she knew a lot of the advanced ones. And so I kind of met her where she was at and said, okay, well, you're right about here. So why don't we focus on those? And so she spent a lot of early time training with teammate Freddie, and they were building each other up. And then both of them kind of shifted towards training individually, where they did a lot of VOD review and they did a lot of time trials, because in the format that we race in our league, time trials has a lot of value because you're racing against one other opponent. It's not 4 or 5 or 9 or however many other opponents that can throw a cacophony of items at you. It's one other person. And what we saw a lot in the regular season races was if you can crack into that time trials mentality and you can get a comfortable lead and you have the protection items to block, then you are essentially running a time trial. And if you can run the time trial better than your opponent does with the shell or the banana to protect you, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win. And that's what we kind of discovered midway through as we saw these races unfolding. And that's where we kind of shifted our attention. Now, Amber spent an enormous amount of time practicing in the arena, practicing on her own at home. There's some YouTubers, which if any of you guys are actual Mario Kart people and you want some resources, I have some. There's some really great YouTubers and racers out there that have some awesome videos and breakdowns on how to do things. The other thing was I said, hey, Amber, have you checked out this guy's channel before? And she's like, oh yeah, I watch his videos all the time. So it's like, okay, you've like everything on my checklist in my toolkit of like Mario Kart coaching. I'd say 90% of them she was already doing coming into the season. And so it was really just fine tuning that last 10%. She was constantly checking the brackets to see how the playoffs were going. She was constantly scouting and watching for video of her opponents. She was looking for any opportunity she could get. Now, we showed her how to access the brackets and we talked to her about scouting and looking into that, but then she took it upon herself to continue doing that all on her own. When we got there yesterday, the races started at 6. I told everybody I'd be there by 5:15 at the latest, so 45 minutes to get set up. Coach Andrew got there at 4 o'clock. When he got there at 4 o'clock, Amber was already there and had been there for an hour. And she was watching video of Matthew and trying to figure out how to beat him. So she did all of that on her own. I said, hey, Amber, can you please be here by 5:15 at the latest? She was there at 3 o'clock. And I don't want to like encourage the mentality of like working yourself to the bone. Like she really did put in a lot, but she also, I think she was doing a good job. And I think now she's doing a good job of resting and recovering from that. So the biggest thing that Andrew and I could do for her was help coach her confidence and help coach her mentality, right? When you have that bad race, when you have the banana bounce off the sign and you hit yourself with it, how do you like shake that off and keep going, right? And she did that. And I think the reason that she did that was because of a loss that she took in playoffs, which we'll talk about that as we get to the next set, okay? So let me catch up on chat for a little bit. We will watch the grand finals match as well. So let's see. T-Zone said, sorry, I haven't been here. Having a hard time in school. I've been focusing on that. Hey, dude, I've been wondering where you've been at, but not because I'm like, hey, he needs to be here. I just been wondering if you're all right. I think, it's great that you're focusing on school, right? I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. Focusing on your academics and taking care of school, that's important, man. So good on you for taking the time and saying that's what I need to focus on. So I hope things are going a little bit better for you. I hope that you get to recover and take a winter break and have a good time there. But it's good to see you again, man. Reached the 10 sub goal. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I'm at 7 out of 10, so I'm getting close. Resources, please. I will drop one for everybody that's watching. These aren't a secret. Let me go here. I'm going to go to YouTube. And the guy that I usually watch is Bayesic. Basic. Okay? Basic. Okay? Now, a lot of his videos are 200cc. Do not watch those. But he has a ton of them, and let's go by most popular. He has a lot of videos about these techniques, right? So this one is a really fun video that talks about the optimal way of choosing the best cart. He actually scientifically breaks it down and goes into it. Now, here's what I will say, and people watching this that watch the match know. Okay, so anybody that plays competitive Mario Kart, and you see this on the thumbnails, right? This. Okay, you always see Waluigi in either the Biddy Buggy or the Wild Wiggler with the rollers. You can do either regular ones or the Azure ones, the blue ones, and then the paper glider. That is generally the strongest overall build in the game, and here's why. Okay, in Mario Kart 8, all of the characters have different weight classes. Let me see if I can just show this to you. Mario Kart 8 character stats. Where's the cart builder one? Mario Kart 8 cart builder. Where's it at? There it is. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this for just a second, all right? So when you pick a character, you have all the drivers you can pick, all the car bodies, all the tires, and the gliders. Now, down here at the bottom, it's going to influence your stats. So let's go with that meta build, right? So you're going to pick a super heavy character like Waluigi. So if you look at it, what you notice right off the bat is his speed is bananas. It's nuts, okay? And so these different bars are for ground, water, air, and anti-grav. But that first one is ground speed is way up here, okay? Now, if I click to Wario, his is actually slightly higher. Donkey Kong and him are identical. Bowser, identical to Wario in most ways, okay? Now, the thing that Waluigi has over like Wario, right? Why wouldn't you just pick the highest top speed? Is look at the handling. Okay, Waluigi's handling and it is slightly better. So the super heavies, which is Wario, Waluigi, Donkey Kong, Bowser, I think Dry Bowser, and I think Roy, and actually I think Roy and Waluigi are identical. And then I even think like Rosalina is up there, right? So these are like your super heavies. They're going to have the highest overall top speed in the game, which means that if you are not getting hit, they are going to be faster than any other character in the game. This is why when you watch time trials races, you are almost always seeing Waluigi or some close variation racing. Because in time trials, you literally are never getting hit. There's no opponents, right? It's you and your 3 mushrooms and your skill, and that's it. In competitive Mario Kart play, a lot of that changes, right? Because I am going to be getting hit with items a lot. And on the flip side, if you look at Waluigi again, his acceleration is middle. Like it's actually fairly low, okay? So if I click on like a baby character, right? Way higher acceleration. If we click at Matthew's character, Toad, way higher acceleration. And so what that means is while your top speed's going to be lower, your acceleration's faster, which means you can recover from getting hit a lot faster. So there's a real argument to be made when you get to the competitive side of Mario Kart about how, yeah, these guys are king for time trials, but maybe Toad's better for competitive. Maybe the baby characters are better for competitive. Or maybe, just maybe, Luigi is good for competitive. Now, Luigi's a balance, right? Because if we look at, and actually we'll start doing a comparison here. Let's go to build 2. Just on paper, let's look at the difference between these two, right? So Luigi is who Amber uses, Waluigi's the meta, and just for fun, we'll throw Toad in on the right, okay? So if we look in the middle, we've got Waluigi, and he outclasses both of these guys in speed. He really outclasses Toad, and he's still a little bit better than Luigi. Acceleration, he's got she's got 3 1/4. Toad has 4, and Luigi has 3 1/2. So Luigi is acceleration-wise pretty much smack in the middle between these two. Okay, now let's layer the carts in on top of it. Let's say that they're all using the Biddy Buggy. Where's it at? Ladybug car, where are you? There it is. Okay. With the Azure rollers and the paper glider. Okay. And then Bitty Buggy, Azure rollers, paper glider, Bitty Buggy, Azure rollers, paper glider. Okay. So now we've added in all these other layers. They're all using the exact same cart, the exact same builds. And now you can see some huge influences on their stats. Look at how low Toad's speed stat is now compared to what it was. Okay. Way lower than those. He's got like half the speed that Waluigi does, right? At least stat wise. Like this doesn't actually mean like your max speed's half of his. It doesn't work on a 1-to-1. But in terms of the additional stats you're gaining, his is far lower. But then look at the acceleration. Okay, now look, his acceleration is now what, just shy of 5, but Toad's is almost maxed out, and Luigi's is just a little bit under that. So these guys are going to be significantly slower than Toad or Waluigi, but they're going to have a much better acceleration. The other thing that's really important, and this is why Bitty Buggy Azure Roller's Paper Glider comes up over and over again, is this mini turbo stat. Okay, so mini turbo refers to how fast you build up those boosts as you're drifting around the corners, right? So the orange, blue, purple boosts. The higher this stat is, the faster you're building those up. And so ideally, you want carts where you're drifting a lot and you're building that up as fast as possible. So in that case, this combination reigns supreme. And if you look at something like Toad, now Toad's a force to be reckoned with because he's got an incredibly high mini turbo. That said, his speed's really low. So if you can keep pelting them with items, Toad's pretty viable because he can still recover really well if he gets hit. But if it's like a race like we were seeing, where you've got Luigi versus Toad, and Luigi constantly is protecting himself, this acceleration is not going to matter. Now, let's flip it just for fun into what Matthew was using. So I don't remember the tires he was using, but he was using the clown car, and I think he was using the GLA tires. Okay. And then glider, I don't know. The glider makes a very minimal difference, so we're not going to worry about it too much. And so now if you compare his build to Amber's, and just for fun, even though I think the stats are identical. Yeah, the City Tripper and the Bitty Buggy are identical stat-wise, but we'll switch to it anyway, right? If you look at it, his max speed is actually very slightly lower than Toad's. His acceleration, though, is actually now far higher, and his mini turbo is way higher. So the clown car is actually considered one of the worst carts in the game due to the stat breakdown. And so that's why I told Coach Andrew, I'm like, I would be willing to bet money that if Matthew starts to slip in his race, that he switches off of this build and goes with something more like this. I was wrong. He maintained it the entire way through. I don't know if that's because he really likes this setup and he just likes Toad in the clown car. I don't know if he was purposely picking an anti-meta build and trying to win with a poorer setup. I don't know. I have no idea. But the entire season, Amber was so laser focused on learning the techniques, learning the courses, doing the advanced stuff. But the one thing that was a constant the entire season was this. She absolutely adores the man in the green hat and was not willing to change. And she won a freaking national championship with him, right? So I'm never going to get her to switch off Luigi, which is fine. I want her to race as a character she enjoys, that she has fun with. And if you guys know, Luigi is one of the most fun characters in Mario Kart 8 because of this. There was a meme that came out when Mario Kart 8 did. When he passes by his opponents, he has this nasty, murderous look in his eyes. Check this out. Look at this Luigi. Look at that. Look at this right here. That's the look of a champ right there. Okay. So I don't know if it was about the memes. I don't know if it's just because she likes Luigi, but a lot of respect for that. So there's your stat breakdown of how all this goes down. Now, what I will say before we get into the finals match, okay? The racer in the finals match was using Baby Daisy, and they were in the Bitty Buggy, and they were in the Azure Rollers, and they were in Low Key Masterclass. Yeah, I'm giving away for free. So let's look at this build, okay? And we're really just looking at, here, let's drop him out. We're really just looking at Luigi and Baby Daisy now. So this was Amber, this was her opponent. Look at the speed breakdown of Baby Daisy in this setup. Her max ground speed is not even a 1. Okay. Where's the benefit then? Acceleration almost maxed out, although, I mean, that's pretty close. Weight is really low. Handling is really high. Now, handling isn't as important of a stat if you're good at managing your drifts, which all high-level Mario Kart players are. But that mini turbo stat, is basically maxed out. So even though this build looks way worse on paper, the baby characters, so Baby Daisy, Baby Peach, Baby Rosalina, but specifically these two, are actually the meta pick for certain tracks. So if you're talking like a Cheese Land or a Sherbet Land or any of the ones that have a ton of winding turns, those are ones where it's going to be very hard to build a blue or purple mini turbo, but you're going to get tons of little orange boosts off, right? And so those are actually tracks where Baby Daisy here is the meta pick. And so her opponent opens with the Baby Daisy pick. And I thought, okay, this is a meta pick. However, the track that we did first was, I think, Animal Crossing again. And Animal Crossing isn't really a track that benefits from this specific build, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, the mini turbo build is good for those ones with lots of winding paths. And so I thought we might see her opponent changing characters in between matches between this and this, depending on what type of track that we were seeing. But it didn't happen. So one of the things I've learned about those high-level Mario Kart players, they like their characters, they like their builds, they're going to ride or die with those builds. So, Amber's going to stick with Luigi the whole time. Her final opponent, Dustin, is going to stick with Baby Daisy the whole time, and Matthew was going to stick with Toad in that clown car, live or die. Okay. So anyway, if you guys are interested in checking this out, this is also something fun that you can use. So I will pop this in here, and then I will pop the link to Basic's channel. So Basic does a really good job of breaking down a lot of the advanced tech. So this video, like I said, talks about the carts. This one's talking about drifting. I believe this is the one that talks about the concept of soft drifting that I mentioned. If you are going to have a competitive Mario Kart team, teach every single one of your players how to do soft drifting. It's not very hard, and it's a freaking game changer, okay? It has to do with how the joystick's being held, right? And I'll try to show you guys on this PlayStation controller, okay? So normally what you're trying to do when you drift is you're trying to hold the joystick as far to the left or right as possible, because that's going to give you the deepest drift, right? That's going to build up the mini turbos the fastest. Now, that being said, that means you're also pulling hardest to the left or right, which means you are no longer taking the straightest path through the course. So instead, what you're trying to do is angle the joystick up a little bit, and there's actually like a 30-degree window to the up and to the left or up and to the right, where you're still getting the max drift, but riding or driving a straighter path. Okay, that's the really short version of it. But if you watch the video on short drifting, it's a game changer. It really, really is. So that is my recommendation, my first recommendation for anybody who wants to go and be a pro Mario Kart player. Okay, but watch this guy's videos if you have any interest in learning more about this. Amber plays Luigi because she was the taller twin. Yes, that is true. So Amber has a twin sister. Mario and Luigi are brothers. She originally picked Luigi when she was a kid because Luigi was the taller of the two brothers. So that is the origin story for Luigi. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch then the finals match. So I'm going to scroll down here. The grand finals. Now, spoiler alert, in terms of like a close race, this one isn't nearly as close as the grand finals were. She was 4-3 against Matthew. She wins this one 4-0. Now, that's not to disparage Dustin. Her opponent was fantastic. And so what we talked about, what Coach Andrew and I talked about here between the Matthew race and this grand finals race, was that, and I got to give credit to Andrew for this one, he said you never look past an opponent, right? You never underestimate the opponent. Back when I was at Williamsburg, I saw this happen a couple times, right? Where the team got overconfident, they thought this next match is easy, and then boom, they get clapped, and then they're feeling really bad about it. So that was the single piece of advice we gave, which was you never overlook an opponent, because Dustin had to work just as hard as Amber did to get to this point. He earned his spot in this finals match. And so he had to put in every ounce of effort to get here, just like she did. Okay. So even though on paper he's the 22 seed compared to Matthew's 4 seed, he's not a current champion, but he beat some really, really tough opponents to make it to the finals. So we knew that this was still going to be a tight race, and that if Amber wanted to come out on top, you had to give it your all, right? Yeah, Coach Clannon, you never underestimate the underdog on fire, right? And Amber's feeling pretty hyped up from this match because she dethroned the former champion, right? This was the mountain she had to climb. But Dustin has clawed his way to the finals and is on fire, and he just advanced past his semifinals match too, right? So both of them were in this. And what I gotta say here too, hey, thank you for the follow. What I had to say here was, damn, I just lost my train of thought. um, Fudge. I'll bring it up if it comes back to me. But in between the semifinals and the grand finals, Amber didn't hop on and play, right? She calmed her nerves. She talked to her family. She kind of got in the zone. We talked to her a little bit. She talked to her friends and her family a little bit, but she didn't get back on and play. She was just taking that time to focus up, and I think that was honestly the best possible decision that she could have made. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this one started. I'll jump ahead to where the match began.
Going up.
Come on, Twitch.
Chat by Fully Hectic.
Looks like they're going to be using.
So once again, we're seeing Animal Crossing as the first choice because Amber was host, and host always gets to choose the first race, and she always chooses this one because it is her favorite.
But let's be honest here. She has versed these metas time and time again.
Drop the volume a little bit.
Obviously, since she's in the national championship, she's beat every single one.
So again, right there, neck and neck. Opponent's ahead of her. Opponent has a red shell. All right. First bit of note. Okay, watch how Amber plays this. She does not want to get ahead of that because she knows the second she gets ahead of Baby Daisy, boom, she's going to hit with that shell. So watch how she plays this.
I'm colorblind.
Yeah.
It looks like just take a lead there, but I would say if her opponent slides into her and hits with that red shell,
Boom. Mushroom. She knew what was happening, right? She baited it out because she knew, like, I need to get that off the table when I can recover from it. Now, ideally, she would have had the mushroom here, and she gets it, but she doesn't have enough time to drop the green shell, switch to the mushroom, whatever. So she launches it here, trying to snipe him. She gets damn close. And now she's got the mushroom here for another shortcut. And, okay, good, right? That's what I was talking about with those damn green shells. They're lethal, and they just ping pong around the course. So she ends up getting caught. I think that was her own green shell that she gets hit by. But once again, she has the mushroom to recover it, and she uses it right here to recover. So it's not going to get you back to your max speed right away, but it's going to help recover a lot of that lost ground. And that keeps her, both the first one and the second one, that mushroom usage is what keeps her in this race. Otherwise, she loses race one. So she's got the green shell for protection, but she's behind, right? So she has to make a choice. Do I drop it behind me, or do I try to snipe him? So she throws it ahead, trying to get the snipe, and now she's got the mushroom for this shortcut. Boom. Now she's got a red shell. Boom. Now he's got a banana. But what she does, and this is smart too, she waits until after he hits the item box to release the red shell, because then the opponent doesn't necessarily know that the red shell's coming, and they may make a poor decision with their item because they've already snagged it. Now, that Daisy doesn't appear to have any sort of protection item. They're not holding a shell or anything behind them. So Amber's got to get ahead. So either a red shell, which they just got a shell to protect, or a mushroom. But what she does here is her opponent's taking the ramps and trying to get the boost there, but those boosts are way out on the right side. Amber knows that the faster path here is hugging the left. And that's going to let her get that orange boost. Double item box. She goes to the left because her opponent, or the right because her opponent steals the left one. Mushroom again. And then she throws the boomerang behind. That was closer than it looked. Okay, watch this. Look at how close they are on the map. Okay. Right here, she trades. The opponent throws the bomb. Okay, and I don't know if you guys caught that. She actually hits Dustin with the boomerang, which is hard to tell. Usually your character like cheers when they do it, but watch the mini map in just a second. Boom. So that was like razor thin, right? Because had the bomb blown up right before the finish line and he hadn't gotten hit by the boomerang, he wins that. She won it because she crossed the finish line as she was getting hit and the boomerang actually connected. So that was incredibly close. And so this is the point where, again, like Clannon just said, you never underestimate the underdog, right? He almost just snagged that from her, and he was ahead for a significant margin of that race.
What a race. That close to the
right? Some other skills that players have to do to get good at a high-level Mario Kart here. Again, I'll read some of these off. We talked about the drifting and the soft drifting just a second ago. Hop skipping, right? So again, you can jump off of ramps and you'll start to glide, but your gliding speed is actually less ideal than being on the ground where you can drift and boost. And so you want to get back on the ground as fast as possible. So there are some times where you could get a flip or a boost from taking a ramp, but you actually don't want to. You want to hop off the ramp like before you hit the lip and land as quickly as possible so you can get back to going. We talked about no item shortcuts. Hop canceling. So you'll notice Amber do this. She takes a speed boost, and then a lot of times what happens is when you're getting that momentum from the speed boost, it limits your steering. You don't have full control over your left and right movement. But you can hop, and while you're hopping, you can reorient yourself and recover from that. There's the shortcut. And so what you do is you take the boost, and then as you're boosting, you hop once or twice to reorient your direction so you're taking that more optimal path. That's another critical thing that you need to do if you're going to play Mario Kart at a high level. There, she went right in front of them, hit him with a banana, didn't even have to drop it. Again, close race, though. Look at that mini-map. Baby Daisy not far behind. Okay, she's hoping for a mushroom there. She doesn't get it. All she has is a coin. She knows that shell's coming, but there's no point to popping the coin because if she does, she's just going to get another one. So she keeps the coin. She's going to take the tighter path, just take the single item box. Oh, actually, she went for the double and missed it. I forgot about that. It would have been the smarter play to go for the single box because she's already got a coin. Okay, getting the boost from the jump, getting the item box. Okay, she's got the banana. Now her goal here is to throw it like that and have him run into it. He doesn't. So then she has to weave between them. All right, we're going into lap 3. Opponents ahead. Check this out. There's the mushroom. There's the shortcut. That's one of the biggest shortcuts in the game because instead of going around that hairpin turn around the Yoshi arm, you go straight through the waterfall. Gets the double item box.
I did not know that until I'm looking at the track now. Interesting.
She takes the little boost again. Again, even with her opponent being so close, and the little bit of momentum you lose, that's usually faster if you take it than not. Now she's got the protection she needs. Boom. Unless her opponent has another one, she's got this race on lock, and there it is. That shortcut is actually faster, yeah. It doesn't look like it because you lose your momentum. And I think there's a perfect way to do it where you boost right beforehand and don't actually lose momentum, but it's stupid hard.
10 times better than him.
Now, if she was playing like Waluigi or Bowser or something, that would not be the play. The only reason that's good is because if you're playing somebody like Luigi's mid-class or lighter, then that's faster because your acceleration's better. Neo Bowser, we saw a lot of tracks that were the same between the semifinals and the grand finals, right? Because we saw Animal Crossing as the opening on both. We're seeing Neo Bowser as the third one on both. And Yoshi Circuit just popped up, which we saw in the previous set as well. That was the one that kind of really shook up Matthew. And Amber's got some history on Neo Bowser. During the regular season, this was the one track she got really close to losing. But she ended up getting a mushroom and taking the shortcut right at the very end of the track and barely squeaking out a win in the regular season. So she almost lost a race there. Oh, what I was going to talk about initially when we were switching from race to race, right? Amber went undefeated during her regular season, but early on in playoffs, she actually lost. There it is. She lost a race. At the time that she lost it, she got really shook up for just a second, and then she recovered well, and she had a great race. She ended up ending the set 4-1. But I talked to her afterwards. Andrew was homesick at the time. Andrew talked to her later and said, like, look, it's actually a really good thing that you lost that race because now you're not carrying the pressure of being completely undefeated with you the rest of the season, right? If you go to semifinals, if you go to grand finals, the immense pressure of remaining undefeated would be almost unbearable. So she can let off the steam and she could just focus on races, right? If she has a bad one, it's not the end of the world. She recovers from it. And she talked to us later and said, I didn't really understand it when you said that at the time. And I was kind of upset because of losing, but you were right. And so she trusted us with that, which was good. Looking at her item, she's in second, but she's got an excellent thing here. Now, you might be saying, why isn't she using the mushroom to just boost ahead, right? Or why isn't she using the mushroom and then hitting her with a shell? It's because of this. Watch. Shortcut. She did an incredible job of saving those mushrooms for the shortcuts where she knew it could give her an advantage. And now, look at this. She's in first place with the red shell. So it's the reverse situation that we saw from last race, right? Or 2 races ago, where her opponent knows and can see the red shell. They either have to take care of it with their own red shell, or they have to bait it out and get hit by it when they go by. They did get a red shell and took hers out, but having a red shell in first is incredibly scary for that second place opponent. Taking the double item box. She can only grab one item, but she's denying it from the opponent. Gets the shell and immediately blocks with it. We've seen some of the opponents get their bananas or get their shells and not hold them behind. Because when you get the item, like your character holds it in their hand, and then you actually have to hold down the item trigger and they'll place it behind them. Amber talks about how she sees opponents not hold it behind them all the time, and she thinks that's silly. There is I can't remember the reason. There is a legit reason for not doing that in some situations, but 9 times out of 10, you want to hold the item behind you for that exact reason, right? If a quick item comes out or an unexpected one hits you from behind, then you... Oh, that's right. Yeah, good catch. But she always held it behind her because she wanted that quick protection and it paid off there. What Clandon was saying was when you're playing online, if someone is far enough behind you and you have a boo, if you're holding that item behind you, then the boo steals it, which means you lose your shield. But Amber plays with the mentality of like, I'd rather have it, because here's the thing, they're only going to get a boo if they're fairly far behind. So if they're going to take my protection from me with a boo, then I'm already winning pretty handily. And we saw that in the previous set. So this is it. This is the last race, right? This is the only thing in her way. Even if she loses it, she's got several other races that she can take. She's playing this really smart. She does not want to be right behind the Daisy because Daisy has a banana. Daisy can drop that banana and she can boost into Daisy. So she decides, you know what? I'm taking that banana from her. He didn't need it. So he grabs that, and then check this out here. I think they both have music boxes. So I was talking to Coach Clandon about this today, right? This is a tricky situation because if she zooms past the opponent's going to music box her and hit her. So what she decides to do is to pop her own music box and then move slightly to the right because the circle box goes in the music box goes in a circle around your character and it lasts for like a second or two. So she pops it and then moves into range to hit her, and that's what seals the deal here. Watch this. Pop, hit. Now she's not worried about the opponent's music box because they're way behind. The music box is a good first place item because it can stop any sort of shell. It can even stop blue shells, which you're not going to see here. But it is almost worthless when you're behind. And she's got the Bob-omb here. The Bob-omb can be used as a protection item, but I believe she drops it here because her opponent's right on her tail and she wants to blow her up with it. Again, remember, the bombs are proximity based for your opponents. So if her opponent's right on her ass and she drops this, it's going to blow up. Boom. There is a shortcut. You guys can see it right here. There's a shortcut right here that you can take. Incredibly high risk and incredibly low reward. That shortcut is going to save you almost no time, and it's easy to screw it up. So you will never see Amber, or Freddy for that matter, take that shortcut. Unless they are like way behind. She's got the banana. She's taking this really tight, well not super tight, she's getting the booster, but then taking a tight path here. Swinging wide to get the item box. And setting herself up to be in the right position here. Holding onto the banana, taking the shortcut through the luggage conveyor. Here it is, last lap. Now, if you look at the map, she's got a handy lead on her opponent. This is Amber's race to lose at this point. She knows it. She's feeling a little bit more calm. The nerves are collected a little bit, at least until we get right near the end where things feel real, right? Until it's like, oh man, I'm about to do this. But she has the protection she needs. She has the 10 coin boost. She's racing cleanly. She's not making mistakes. Unless some giant play comes out, she's not going to lose this. And if you look at what happened, her opponent stops moving. I think they attempted to recover by taking that shortcut I just mentioned. Let's see what happens in the race. Okay, right here. So her opponent falls off right there. Yes, I'm 90% sure that the opponent tried to take that shortcut I just mentioned, and oh no, it was lag. That's anticlimactic. It was lag. Okay, final stretch. She's got the protection. She's got a significant lead. She has a clear path through the conveyor. And there's your national champion. There's Coach Clannon.
You have a new championship from FCC, Amber, also known as the Queen of Mario Kart.
She is the national champion.
Oh, wow. Basically making history with a 4-0 clean sweep. Ladies and gentlemen, Amber has done it.
This is the first year of esports.
All right, Amber, you have won your national championship. What do you have to say?
You know what they say? The L stands for National Champion.
Yes, it does. Not only does the L stand for Luigi, but it now stands for the national championship. Congratulations, Amber.
All right, and I'll pause it right there. So, I thought this would be fun to recap, right? This lets me kind of lean into my position as coach. I'm glad that Clannon is here as well, because we definitely rode this journey together here to get here. And again, like I said, watching the race, watching the semifinals match, I didn't know if I was going to survive it. Clannon and I talked before about how hey, this is out of our hands. This is up to Amber. There's not much we can do at this point. It's all in her hands. She's got to do it. And so I was pretty cool and collected until the race began. And then the way that the first race went was really nerve-wracking. That the green shell going backwards was not good. Her losing on her opening track was not good. Her hitting herself with the sign, banana off the sign, was not good. But she recovered each and every time, and she did not let it rattle her. When we did notice that she was down, coach and the people in the arena cheered her on and got her energy back up and got her back in this race. And it was an incredible journey. And then again, you never look past an opponent, but we knew that if she could beat Matthew, she could absolutely beat this opponent, at least on paper. And so she was able to take that confidence into this match, race a really clean set, and as I told people in the message that I shared earlier, she went 4-0 in every race in the regular season. So it was kind of poetic for her to finish things out doing the same thing. And again, she now stands as the only person in the entire league to go through all of regular and postseason undefeated, right? She dropped a couple individual races. I think grand total she dropped 3 against Matthew, and then she dropped 2 other I think she dropped a total of 5 races the entire season. She had 2 4-1s and a 4-3. But out of a series of 28 plus, I don't even know how many other races, she only lost 5 total, which is insane. And so the growth that she's had has been incredible. And the other really cool thing is, right, we have a spring season. She gets to turn around and try to defend her crown here in the spring. And as Coach Clannon and I were talking about, that's going to be great for her. But she's already a champion, and nobody can take that away from her. So if she goes around and does it back-to-back, awesome. If she doesn't, who cares, right? You've already climbed to the top of the mountain. You've earned this spot. So just bask in it, enjoy it, and take a damn break while you're at it. So I thought that would be a really fun way to kind of recap the excitement that we just experienced last night at Marshalltown Community College by doing a little bit of analysis and breakdown on my stream. Now, we still have about 30 minutes left. So a couple things I'm going to shout out. Okay, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and stop my Chrome window for a second. But remember, during the month of December, I am raising money for charity. We are now up to $46 out of our $100 goal. If we hit that $100 goal, we are going to be playing a bunch of crappy holiday games on stream right before Christmas. But if you would like to support the cause that I'm raising money for this December, then please consider following that link, making a donation, whatever you can. $1, $5, doesn't matter. Anything helps. I donated after my Game Awards predictions. CJ hopped in and matched my donation earlier tonight, bringing us to a grand total of 46. If we can keep that train going, fantastic. Even if not, spread the love, let people know about it. And what we're going to do with the last 30 minutes here is we are going to slide right back into what we were doing last week. Last week, I was using a game called The Messenger as a study point for Intro to Game Studies. And I kind of showed off the thing that I wanted to show off, which was kind of the music and the graphical change that happens midway through the game. And so there's going to be some other twists and turns that come in the later half. This game is pretty short, so it's almost done. And so I'm just going to get the game booted up, and we will kind of end tonight by playing that. If you guys have any other Mario Kart questions or things that you want to talk about that came up during that, please, I would love to further discuss those with you. But if not, then we will flip over here to our game and keep playing through it. And if you guys remember, where we left off last week. Oh, Fortnite is so good. Dude, I saw that you've been playing a bunch of Fortnite, because I've logged on to play with Laura a couple times, and it'll say that you're in the lobby. The new season is incredible, and the game looks really good. So where we're at here, if you guys don't remember, is we're about to go fight the big old boss of the underworld here. And that fight's actually kind of tricky here, so let's just go after it. And actually, hold on a second. I forgot to do this last time. I'm going to throw up a prediction here on stream. Okay, here's the prediction. Let's see. Will I beat this boss within 3 attempts? Yes or no? So you guys have 30 seconds. Actually, I'll bump it up to a minute. You guys have a minute to answer this poll. So we're about to fight a boss here. Will I beat this boss in 3 attempts or less? Go ahead. It's not working. Fantastic. Thanks, Twitch. Sometimes the predictions don't work. Let me refresh and try again. If it doesn't work, then I guess we won't do the fun prediction stuff. Okay. Invite next time. All right. And we can definitely do some Fortnite like duos or squads or something at some point on stream again. Hey, that time it worked. Okay, you guys have a quick amount of time to make a prediction here. Will I beat this boss in 3 attempts or less? If you win, you will get, I think it's 100 channel points. I will say I'm a little bit rusty. I haven't played since last Wednesday. Oh, shoot. Uh-oh. Well, it's not going to be attempt 1, I'll tell you that much. There we go. Okay, there's 1. There's 1. So we've got 2 more attempts to do this. And if we don't, then as my favorite streamer says, then we'll have to pay out the doubters. Are you a believer or are you a doubter? And I'll come up with my own terms because I don't want to steal his, but that is what... Oop! Alright. Much better start. Oh, shoot. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. All right, one more hit and we're done. He's blinking, though. Oh, shit. Well, that was fun. All right, so 2 attempts down. If you were believing in me, then we got to get him in the next attempt. Otherwise we're paying out the people that thought we wouldn't make it. Up. Oh, I jumped into that one too. That's fantastic. Good job, dude. Shoot. Here comes the fire. I don't know how to dodge that. Okay, that works, I guess. Not feeling great about that. Okay. Damn it. Comes this damn thing again. Woo! Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Oh, I thought I had him. Well, let me flip over the prediction. If you said no, then congratulations. So choose prediction outcome. Choose outcome and no. Pay up. Hey, on my end, it said nobody chose yes or no. It said nobody voted, so unless that's a glitch on my end, you can act like a hater all you want. That's right. We'll get him on 4 just to piss off the people that said I could do it in 3. See, if you came to watch me be good at video games, that was your first mistake. That's why I coach. Oh my. Can't even make bad jokes while playing. Damn it. Uh-oh. Yeah, maybe you did and it just didn't show up on my end. All right, that was 4 attempts. This is honestly one of the hardest bosses in the whole game, from what I remember. He was one of the only bosses I remember giving me some significant trouble on my first playthrough, and that was a couple years back. So if I remember this guy from then... Oh, damn. I also forgot to grab the health boost when I spawned in. We're almost going to just take the loss on this one and have a better next attempt. See if we can do it. Uh-oh. That's gonna hit me. I'm in a bad spot to dodge that one. I think that was 5 attempts. I think the rope dart there might be the trick. You know, I say that and then I get hit right afterwards. Cool. There it is again. Oh no, I only got hit once there. Okay. Here comes the fire. I got hit there. That was stupid. Come on. Ah! Oh, come on! I'm panicking now. Come on, keep it together. Oh, did you see that? The shuriken got him. I think that was 6 attempts. That's not, honestly, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Impossible. I'm the fastest there's ever been. Tell me how to end this curse, or else. Is it that simple in your head, ninja? All of this is bigger than you, or me. I'm ending this. Your demon king is next. Make no mistake, messenger. None of us are leaving this place alive. If I can't have the scroll, then it shall be destroyed. So, if you guys weren't around when I played this last week, I chose this for an example of games as sensation for one of my college courses. Because this game does an excellent job of combining retro game design with modern game design. It has a kick-ass soundtrack, and then it actually has this really cool thing where when we started this game, it looked like an 8-bit Super or NES game, and now it looks like a Super Nintendo game, and that was a visual upgrade that happened when we went into the future. So because we went so far in the future, the graphics upgraded to match the jump in time, which is really cool. And this dragon was a former boss, but we saved him from being cursed, and now he's saving us. What's your name? Manfred. What kind of name is that for a sky serpent? It's not my birth name, but I always wanted to be a butler. Okay. Well, you should dress for the job you want, not the one you have, right? So call me Manfred. All right, Manfred, what did you do before the demon mind controlled you? No time to explain. This is your big moment. I don't know if I get to control him. I don't think so. I think he takes me back to the starting location. And there, well, we'll just see what happens. I don't want to spoil anything. And look, it's the Demon King again. Oh, you were hoping for the Western hero? No prophecies for you, worm. Prepare to die. Oh, huh. This looks familiar. You! I see Barmathazel failed me once again. Your reign is over, despot. Haha, you think this is how it works? Know your place, ninja. Our curse is never ending and your time is up. As for you, soldier, I can't wait for my minions to make short work of you. That was amazing! You're the Western hero, right? No, I'm... I traveled so far east that I made it back to my village from the west? Everything's so different. Did the Tower of Time really send me to the future? I guess this means... Hey, I have an important task for you, I think. Pardon? I mean, take this scroll. You need to carry it across the world to the top of the highest mountain. Really? I'm 100% down to leave this outpost. Yes, a messenger is needed. A messenger? Godspeed! What? Just take the scroll. So if you guys joined me last week, the way the game starts is your ninja clan gets attacked by the Demon King, and the Western hero comes and gives you the scroll and says, go deliver this to the top of the mountain. So we've now narratively come full circle, where we went to the top of the mountain, we went forward in time, we looped back around and gave the next messenger the scroll. So it's this loop, and we've just completed it. So narratively, I think that's also pretty dope. And it also opens this game up to endless sequels, right? You could play as a messenger at any point in time. So your time as a messenger is up. What do I do now? Well, you could take a few moments to appreciate the reveal that it was all just a loop. No way, I still want to be part of the adventure. Oh, we'll get right to that. What do you mean? I mean, it's time. Time for what? Time for you to finally open the cabinet. Really? Yeah, go ahead and open it. So this cabinet over here was something the shopkeeper wouldn't let us open, and if you actually try to open it too many times in a row, he goes on this really long, monotonous story about how you shouldn't have opened the cabinet. So then you finally get to open it. What's in it? Check it out. So it's just a closet for blue robes? Why, yes, what did it look like? Well, don't just stand there, grab one your size. Huh. I think I hear someone coming. Get behind the counter. So wait a minute, you're telling me that the shopkeeper was just another messenger? Ah, the messenger. I wasn't expecting you so soon. What is this place? This is the shop. It doesn't look like a shop. Hey, I said this, I mean, do I look like a shopkeeper? What? Anyway, here's a power-up that will let you charge your beam. Oh, there's upgrades too? Sweet! So thanks for the beam charger upgrade. You bet. You know, the way everything looks, it just felt like I should be able to do that. Yeah, that's why the Raytroid invented it decades ago. Who's Raytroid? Just the follow-up to an earlier joke. I don't get it. Some will. I don't remember that joke. Metroid, Raytroid? I don't know. So the cool thing, right, is like that messenger's gonna kept coming in and out of the shop because like we exist in a space now that's outside of time and space. And so it looks like he just keeps leaving and coming back in, even though for him a lot of time has passed, for us no time has passed. Hey, is everything alright? It's kind of boring, but I guess I'm okay. No, I mean, it's been a while since your messenger visited. Oh, I don't know. I didn't enter the shop often myself. You're in the Tower of Time, remember? So it should automatically take you forward in time to the next important moment, which is either your messenger enters the shop or dies. Oh, your messenger die? How would I know? By using the scrying orb. If Quarble isn't sent within 10 seconds, your messenger dies for good. And when were you planning on mentioning that? Oh no! Oh no 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 no! We need to fix this. Oh, is it we now? Come on, now's not the time to argue. We have to look at this holistically. Look at this holistically. What does that even mean? It means I'm as lost as you are, but I still want you to think I'm the smartest one here. I'll go fetch the scroll. Hold on. Be right back. I need to talk to the others. Okay, we've reached an agreement. You're the one that needs to finish this. Really? Yes, really. You weren't really fit to be a shopkeeper anyway. I'll leave the scroll here with your clothes. Come join us after you've changed. So we completed the cycle of delivering the scroll. That continues by us becoming the next shopkeeper. The old shopkeeper forgot to tell us that we have to use the orb that's over here to send Quarble to save our messenger if he dies, and so he died permanently rather than getting saved. And so the shopkeeper went and got the scroll and said, well, I guess you have to finish the job now because we screwed up. So really kind of a cool narrative loop that this all ties into each other, but that's how you get back into the game. That wasn't, some people think that when that part comes up that they've completed the game that it's over, and that's not the case. We're actually, probably 2/3 of the way through. So I'm going to go this way. This gets us right back to the Tower of Time. We're getting really close to the end of the stream tonight, but I want to show you guys what happens next. Hey, it's you! I really missed that time when we did the thing. The others don't want to do it anymore. Welcome to the Tower of Time. I put it back into its headquarters form after you beat the challenge, which I had designed myself, by the way. If you want to replay it, let me know. You may have missed a few hidden things. Hey, do you want to try the Tower of Time challenge? No. Ooh, you like that big portal? It's actually kind of scary. After years of research, I realized one of the items we need to recover is the very future we are trying to prevent. Or is in the future we're trying to prevent. If my calculations are correct, it should take you there. But in order to activate it, I would need a relic imbued with demon magic. So what do I do then? I must have gone the wrong direction. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so here's the last thing that'll show off before we leave the stream tonight. Look, all I'm saying is he's been carrying the scroll for a long time already, and it could be dangerous. It is exactly as was foretold in the visions. A born-again messenger will master time itself to end the curse by fighting in 2 cycles simultaneously. I don't know, warping once to go to the future was risky enough. You think he can sustain doing that constantly? Well, unless you want to carry the scroll again, I don't see what other choice we have. Besides, we really need to find the remaining music notes. So you still believe the music box is important? Well, I am the prophet, right? So yes, I do believe in the prophecy. Well, if you really mean to help the messenger, try to tone down that wannabe epic tone of yours. Careful, heathen, the myths of legend are very complex, and attempts to trivialize their meaning may cause... Whatever, I'll be in my shop. So, the prophet will be your guide from now on. Good luck with that. I'll let the prophet explain it, and then I'll recap. So the messenger rises once more. I'm not sure what I should do next. The mists of time are quite intricate indeed, but fear not, for the prophet's here to unravel their meaning. Or like, the interpret then, am I right? I will forgive this affront, for these are troubled times. Behold, messenger, as the Tower of Time's portal nexus activates to help you on your quest. Return here whenever you seek guidance, and I shall provide. Godspeed. So what has to happen is we need to get all of the notes on the music box. So we see that the first and last one are already filled in, but we have to get 1, 2, 3. We have to get 6 remaining music notes. We do that by going and completing missions or levels that we've already gone through, And so you'll notice each of these portals looks like one of the levels we completed, right? So here's stage 1. This is stage 3. And then we can go to Glacial Peak, which was stage 6. So we can actually now go them in a non-linear order. I'll still show you guys the first level first. But we get to replay the old levels in the future with the updated graphics, right? So I'm going to hop into the first stage. And you'll notice right away, right? This is that song from Autumn Hills again. But it's that upgraded 16-bit version of the song along with the 16-bit graphics. Hey, yeah, pretty neat. Things are probably going to get cryptic from now on with all this profit business, so you'll probably want to make extensive use of your map. My map? Your map, yeah. I don't have a map. Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, I don't have a map. Okay, let me get this straight. We gave you a scroll. The fate of this whole world seems to hinge on it. We gave you a hero title relating to it. You carried it for days across countless perilous situations, even through time itself. And you never even bothered reading it? You're an animal. Turns out the scroll was actually a map. Press left bumper to open it. Time to explore and find new areas. Press left bumper to open your map. So now we get this old school, like, Metroidvania type map. And if we hit A, the prophet will give us a cryptic clue. Under the shroud of night, crimson trees shelter a magic note ready to be collected. So he's giving us a clue as to where one of the music notes is in the world. And once we get that music note, he'll tell us about another one. And so now we're moving back through the stages in a non-linear order in a little bit different way we did the first time to try to find all the music notes. And you'll notice it threw me back into Autumn Hills here, but it didn't throw me at the start of the stage way over here. It threw me kind of smack dab in the middle. And now, with the glider that I have, the rope dart that I have, some of the new abilities that I have, I can access parts of the world I couldn't before. And I can actually flip between some of these different stages, which is cool. I'll be in my shop. If you have the coin, I'd be happy to mess with the prophet by pointing out hints on your map. Be safe now. So now the other thing too is we can use the time shards. We can still use them for upgrades, but we can also use them to get a more direct hint about what to do next if we don't want to rely on the cryptic messages from the prophet. And already, again, first of all, the updated music track is dope. And even in that first screen, right, we're using the rope dart, which we didn't use before. And then here, we're going to use the rope dart and the glider. So it's not like I'm just playing the same old boring level again. It's different. I'm seeing different zones. Okay, check this out. This is where we'll leave things tonight, right? I'll do this part and get to the next checkpoint. When I hit these, it's like a time distortion. So that little bug opens up a window to the past. And so the graphics here look old school again. So does my character. And the music is, and then listen to this. So freaking cool, man. The way that they use the graphics and the sound to pump the narrative is such a perfect example of sensation as a design aesthetic, and that is exactly why I wanted to play this game on stream. Alright, so I'm going to get us to a checkpoint, and then we'll wind things down there, so... Thank you guys for letting me wax on about how the season went and kind of talk about the coaching process and how the Mario Kart matches went. I know some of you watched him live last night and turned around and watched him again, but it was really nice to be able to break it down for you and talk about kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff that went on. I'll probably try to do that again maybe for either for future regular season matches that some of our teams do, or definitely if we come around to playoff season again and have something cool to talk about. Oh, check this out. Couldn't have done that the first time. Oh, poop. Alright, we're gonna get this. So what we're doing is we have to drop. Oh, crap. We have to drop platforms. I hit the wrong button. We have to do it at just the right time so that we actually, there we go, drop instead of falling all the way through. There's another power coin. We're not going to worry about getting all of these, but since I stumbled upon it, we'll try it. Again, I don't remember what the overpowered upgrade is for getting all of them. I have it on my original save file, which is still on here. So maybe once we've beaten the game and seen the ending, then I'll load up that play file and show it to you guys real quick so we can mess with it. The design of the game is also much different here. Here's the checkpoint. In the first set, we're going through those stages generally from left to right, beating the boss and moving on. Now it's what we would call more of a true Metroidvania, which means that we can move through the world in a different way. We can revisit different rooms. We're going back to old areas with the new power-ups. And so it's the same levels, but they've been designed in such a way that they were made for people to go back and play in the second half of the game like this, which is a really difficult and really impressive way of designing these levels. Because they had to work as straight platforming levels the first time, and they now still have to work as an interconnected map that we can explore the second time. So, anyway, since stream, we were done with the Mario Kart stuff a little bit and had time, I wanted to play this for a little while, but I am going to go ahead and wind things down as we kind of have this variety stream. Let's see. I'll go ahead and click the ending soon screen here. Again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I had a blast going through that stuff and being able to recap how the season went. So glad to be able to talk about Amber's praises and congratulate her on winning a flippin' national championship, which is just incredible. And I hope that that young woman is so proud of the work that she's done. I am certainly so proud of her. But we will continue streaming throughout the month of December. We'll continue talking about esports. We'll continue playing through the messenger until we beat it. We're almost done, or we're getting there. And then we will continue to raise money for Mental Health America. So again, our current goal after CJ's generous contribution is $46 out of 100. So please, please, please help me in trying to get that goal met. I would absolutely love that. We have just under 2 weeks to go to get that done. It will end shortly before Christmas comes around. So please share it with people that might enjoy it. And then I'm going to attempt to see if we can get a raid going before we leave. You know what we're going to do? We're going to attempt to have everybody go and raid Aggie because Aggie has been so good at watching our streams and giving us support. So we'll see if we can raid him with our 2 viewers. He's playing some old retro holiday games right now, doing some Christmas theme stream stuff. So that'll be cool. Check and see how Aggie's doing. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.